Hey VC, I thought I'd make a very quick video today. Last weekend I visited a flea market. This is the first time I've been at that flea market in 3 years. This was a flea market that I used to visit maybe once a month back 10, 15 years ago when I was collecting a lot of vintage vinyl. In the past 3 years, partly because of COVID and partly because I don't really collect vintage records now. I haven't been out there, but I thought I'd take a run out this past weekend just to have a look and see what was out there. And I thought I would just, for a few minutes, film what was in the bins so that you could just get some idea of what's in the flea market in my neck of the woods. So here is just a short 5-minute video or so on me crate digging at this flea market. I spent about an hour there, and I would say, in terms of vinyl, there's probably only two vendors there that were really any good. And those were the two that I filmed. We had one individual who was into not only vinyl but also in Hot Wheels and comics and collectibles, and that was the second part of that video. And then the other vendor who had a little bit more collectible stuff in terms of vinyl. And both of these guys used to be vendors at the local flea market that I made some videos about a year ago. There used to be a flea market walking distance from my house. That was the absolute epicenter of vinyl records going back 10-15 years ago, before the vinyl resurgence started. And it was the place to be. And back then, because the vinyl resurgence hadn't started, prices were outstanding for what you could get. So those two vendors, that place by me closed down probably 5 years ago, and these two vendors moved out to this particular flea market. It's definitely nowhere as good in terms of vinyl for compared to the original flea market by my house. One thing that I did notice out there, because I know people collect, is Hot Wheels. There seemed to be a lot of Hot Wheels. A lot of vendors had Hot Wheels. So if you're into the die-cast scene, that might be a nice place to visit. I should mention too that actually when I was talking to one of the vendors, they said they were having I don't know what it is, like a Hot Wheels get-together. Going to be the following day. So myself personally, I'm not into Hot Wheels too much, so I didn't follow up on that. One thing was mentioned when I was driving out there with my friends. A friend of mine mentioned that coming to a stadium in Toronto was an 80s group that I used to really like a lot. I said, "Oh, that's interesting. It'd be probably nice to see them." But I said, "I'll go online and see what the tickets are like." So I brought up the website and had a quick scan at ticket prices. And I saw the price for like the platinum ticket, which I have no idea what it involves. Maybe it's like a 2-minute meet and greet with the band or something like that. But I looked at the price. Fortunately, when I fainted, I didn't hit my head on the desk. So when I came to, I thought to myself, who in the world would pay that kind of money for an 80s new wave band? And I don't know how many original members are still touring. But to my mind, that band is not worth anywhere near that price. I don't want to say the name of the band because I don't want to disrespect them, anything like that, saying, they're not worth hundreds of dollars for an hour-and-a-half concert. So I won't mention their name. By the way, have I ever shown my Duran Duran collection? I think this was their first album. It was Rio. I think that was their second album. What's this one? I don't know. Reggae Tiger? Is this their third album? Who knows? Notorious. I can remember that on the radio. Arena. Around the World in 1984. Yep. Those are the Duran Duran records that I have. After about mid-80s, I totally forgot about them. I didn't even know they were still around making records like 20 years later. Should have mentioned the original flea market that was by my house going back 15 years ago. That's where I got some of these records, and they were selling for 25 cents each. Things have changed. Right? So, and one last thing, well, since we're talking Duran Duran, they came to town around 2011, approximately, give or take a year, I don't know. And a colleague of mine at work really hyped up to see him, got the ticket, she got a ticket, and got her girlfriend got a ticket. Couldn't wait. This is their favorite band. Couldn't wait at all for this concert. And off they went. So the next day I said to them, well, how was the concert? Was it fantastic? And she said, it was the worst concert I ever went to. And I said, well, why is that? And she said, well, apparently they had released a new album, I guess 2011, give or take a year. I have no idea what their albums were back then. And that's what the whole concert was, that one album. So during the concert, they did not play a single hit of theirs from the 80s. It was only when they came out to do an encore that they played two of their so-called hits from the 80s. And that was it. That was the concert. So she was totally pissed off. So meanwhile, at the time, I had this DVD CD combo, the deluxe edition, Duran Duran Live from London. And on this DVD, they play all their hits. Real Girls on Film, Wild Boys, you name it, Planet Earth, the whole works. It's all on here. So I made a copy of it and titled it The Concert You Never Saw, and left it on her desk. And then she watched it the following week, and it said, yes, that's what she was expecting to see. And so I said, well, at least you got the DVD now. So that's it. That's a wrap for today. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great day.